The map said the island did not exist. The sea said the island was dead. But at midnight, the island started calling their names. 17-year-old Samir hated boats. It wasn't the sea he feared, but what it had taken from him. His father had disappeared into its depths years ago, leaving a hole in his life that never quite healed. Now, spending the summer in the sleepy coastal town of Greyhook with his clever little sister, Noor, and their tech-savvy cousin, Zion, Samir just wanted to get through it. But Greyhook had a secret. Every single night, at precisely 12:07 a.m., the entire town would plunge into darkness, and in that profound, a new star would appear out on the water. Except, it wasn't a star. It was an island that simply wasn't there during the day. It was a phantom, a ghost on the horizon that vanished with the morning light. No map showed it. Satellite imagery revealed nothing but empty ocean. The old fishermen in town would just shake their heads and mutter about sea spirits. But every night, like clockwork, it would rise from the ocean, a dark silhouette against the moonlit water, as if a sleeping giant were stirring from its slumber. One night, as they watched from the shore, Noor pointed, "It's getting closer," and she was right. They measured it against the old pier. Each night, the island was undeniably nearer to the shore. And as it drew closer, something else began to happen. Samir started hearing a voice in his dreams. "Find the heart. Find the door." The words echoed in his mind long after he woke up, leaving him with a sense of dread and an unexplainable pull toward the mysterious landmass. The pull became too strong to ignore. They had to know what was out there. Zion, a genius with anything electronic, went to work. He scavenged spare parts from the local junkyard, repurposed an old fishing boat engine, and rigged together a small, sturdy motorboat. It wasn't much, but it was their only way across. At exactly 12 a.m., huddled in their small boat just off the coast, Zion started the engine. Then, at 12:07, it happened. The lights of Greyhook died, one by one, until the coastline was nothing but a dark void. The sea, which had been gently lapping against their boat, went perfectly, unnaturally still. And then, the island rose. It ascended from the depths in complete silence, like something immense and ancient standing up to greet them. The moment their feet touched the sand, the world they knew fell away. Their phones lost signal instantly. Zion's high-tech compass spun wildly, useless. The sand beneath their boots was warm, impossibly so, as if it held the memory of a sun it hadn't seen. Before them stood the ruins of a city. Strange, broken stone towers clawed at the night sky, their architecture unlike anything they had ever seen. It was a place that shouldn't exist, a civilization lost to time and tide. Carved deeply into the wall of one crumbling structure were words in a language they almost recognized. "We tried to sleep. It would not let us." A chill that had nothing to do with the sea breeze ran down Samir's spine. What were they trying to keep asleep? They found a massive, circular building, its dome open to the stars. Inside stood a clock, a colossal mechanism taller than a lighthouse. But its face had no numbers. Instead, it was covered in a complex array of symbols, glowing faintly in the dark. And in the very center of the room, a machine pulsed with a soft, blue light, a heart that was still beating after centuries of solitude. As they approached, a voice crackled to life, echoing through the chamber. It was a recorded message, thin and ancient. "If you are hearing this, we failed." The voice was filled with a sorrow that transcended time. This island was not built as a home. It was built to hold back something that should never, ever wake up. The island wasn't waking up each night. It was losing its grip. Deep beneath their feet, buried in the heart of the island, was the reason for its existence. The sleeper. It wasn't a monster of flesh and bone. The ancient people who built this place hadn't built a city. They'd built a prison. A mobile, submersible prison designed to contain the sleeper, surfacing only at night when its power was at its peak, venting the pressure to keep it contained. But now, after untold centuries, the prison was breaking. The sleeper was almost free. And then, Samir saw it. A series of faded photographs pinned to a control panel, and a familiar name in a logbook. His blood ran cold. He finally understood. His father hadn't drowned. He was one of the last guardians, a lineage of protectors who stayed behind to manually maintain the failing systems, sacrificing their lives to keep the sleeper contained. His father's disappearance wasn't an accident. It was a choice. And now, the island, a sentient machine in its own right, had summoned his son. It had brought Samir here to take his father's place. The island began to tremble violently. The sleeper was waking, its immense power tearing the prison apart. A screen on the main console flashed a chilling message. New keeper required. To save the world, one of them had to stay behind. To become the new heart of the machine, trapped for eternity. Samir took a step forward, his mind made up. But before he could reach the console, Noor grabbed his hand. "No," she said, "we don't lose family again. Not ever." In that moment, everything changed. Zion, seeing the energy readouts on the failing machine, tore into his backpack. He began furiously rewiring his modern battery packs into the ancient console. A desperate attempt to give it a new source of power. Noor began entering the sequence into the control panel, and Samir, inspired by their defiance, did something truly unexpected. He didn't accept his fate. He changed the rules. Accessing the core programming, he found the system that required a human sacrifice and rewrote it. He didn't just repair the prison, he upgraded it. Instead of one person staying behind, he coded a new directive, creating a self-sustaining, fully automatic containment loop powered by Zion's tech and guided by Noor's code. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, the violent shaking stopped. The island gave a final, deep groan and began its slow, silent descent back into the sea. They scrambled back to their boat just as the last of the ancient towers slipped beneath the waves. On the shore, the lights of Greyhook flickered back to life, as if nothing had happened. Everything was normal again, except for one thing. As Samir pulled his phone from his pocket, there was one new message, received just moments ago, from a number he thought he'd never see again. From, "Dad, proud of you." Some islands wake up at night. Not to be seen, but to protect the world while it sleeps. And courage isn't about repeating the sacrifices of the past. It's about having the strength to fix the future,